is one of the important aspect in this. And here, one of the important aspect, even for this supply chain, is warehouse, and the next one is the inventory. Okay, in inventory management, in the logistics, we know that a lot of aspects are included in that, and in that aspects, for example, starting with starting from what we call the sourcing of the suppliers, and then to the uh, manufacturing process, and from the manufacturing process we know that it will go to the customer, right? And in these stages, in the important three stages, there are also other stages which are included in that. What are those stages means? Those stages are um, like, for example, warehousing will be there. Yesterday, in the yesterday's class, we discussed about cross docking, right? And the milk run techniques. All these techniques are also included in there in order to, decrease the final product price. All the things are included in this, right? And when they take care of many of the aspects in this, when they take care of many aspects in that, the overall price of the product will definitely will decrease. If they are negligence in if they're negligent in doing the things, and the final price of the product will go ahead, right? This is the thing. Actually, now, today in this lecture, we are going to discuss more focus on the inventory management. Okay, let me share the screen. Screen. Right, inventory management. Now, what is inventory management? Inventory means the usable but idle resources that have an economic values. Okay, what are the types of inventory? That means, say, there may be idle things, they may not use it directly, but it has some economic value. It has the value in the overall the budget. That has a value, but the thing is that those are all idle resources. Idle resources which are not in used directly. It is not usable, but those things will be there. What are the inventory? Raw materials, okay, and components, materials in work in progress, finished goods, distribution inventory, maintenance, repair and operational inventory. All these things comes under the inventory. In other words, in simple words, the raw materials, that the components of the spare parts, raw materials, and the semi-finished products, that means which are not completed products, but which are like kind of the spare parts which will be attached to that, right? And the work in progress, the goods which are, or the products which are in the manufacturing process. And the last one is the finished product, which is a finished product. That means a complete product which is directly we can use them, right? That is those are the inventory. Now, what is inventory here? The definition: it is means that stock of the product of a company, components thereof, that makes up the product. It includes the raw material, working progress, and this. Now, what are the functions of the inventory? See this. If you see this, the thing, we can understand this. What are the functions of inventory? The quality discounts, quantity discounts, when we are storing some product, when we are buying some good amount of products together, good number of products, definitely we will get some discount. Permit operations, it will help you to do that. And hedge against the price increases. That means if we know that in future the price will increase, we can buy now and we can keep it in our store. Take advantages of the order cycle. Right. Next, meet an anticipated customer demand. Suddenly, customer, we want more products than the required, everyday regular required. Then, if we have a good inventory, either it is a finished food, the finished product, then we can use them. And smooth production requirements. If we have good inventory, then Without any interruption, the production process can go on, right? Decouple operations and the protect against the stockouts. We can these are all the functions of the inventory. Now the inventory management's importance, we can see that it will protect from the fluctuation. The same points will be repeated. Giving it will helps to give better services, aids in continuing production operations, reduces the risk of loss, minimizes the administrative workload, tries to protect fluctuation in output, makes effective use of working capital, checks loss of material due to pilferage, facilitates cost accounting and activities, avoids duplication in ordering of the stocks. Now, what are the objectives of inventory management? Provide desired customer service level. This is the thing. How much customer is required, how much customer is expecting, how many products they're expecting, we can give the same level. Second one, provide cost efficient operations, right? Buffer stock for smooth production flow, and they can maintain the level of workflow, and they can also allow longer production runs to do that. And minimum inventory investments, right here, we don't need to have, we don't need to pull full investment in that, but we can have a minimum thing, like for example weeks, days, or hours of supply. We can think of, no need to have a continuous thing. Sometimes if we require a weekly inventory stock, we can do that. If you want monthly or like that also, we can maintain. You know the advantages, definitely delivery, we can deliver the products on time. Discount, if you purchase the more products, we can get some discount, and no workers or machines can be idle there. And disadvantage is also there. Sometimes the overall working capital, the overall amount that you're investing will be increase, because you are storing more products, right? More space required. Even when you are storing some products, of course, you require a space. If you don't have more space, sometimes you need to hire the space. There will be some insurance charges will be there, overhead expenses will be there, changes of damage will be there, increased chance of obsolescence will be there. Now, now sometimes inventory decisions. This is also another important thing. What are the inventory decisions which are involved in that? One is production budget, right? And based on the production budget, it will also include the inventory budget. Order size of the raw materials. How many raw materials you need to order in one go, and how many times the order should be, order we should order the products, and reorder points and the safety stocks. Now, second one, inventory decisions. There are some inventory decisions involved in that. When to replenish the inventory of that item, how many of an item to order, when the inventory of that item to be replenished. There are some decisions also included in that. One is what to stock, how much to invest, how many services to offer, etc. Okay. Now, here, let us go into the inventory control. What is inventory control? It is a technique of maintaining the size of the inventory at some desired level, keeping in view the best economic interest of an organization. What are the objectives of an inventory control? To avoid investment in inventories. Second one is to provide right quantity, right goods at the right time. So it is controlling means maintaining a desired level of that, not more, not less, and we need to have a sufficient thing. What are the objectives on this? There will be operative objectives and the financial objectives. One is availability of materials and minimizing the wastage, right? We should keep the materials available. At the same time, we need to reduce the waste also. And promotion of manufacturing efficiency is also another thing. And we need to give better service to the customers, and the production level also need to be in control, and optimum level of inventories we should maintain. Next, what are the financial objectives? Economy in purchasing. Second, an optimum investment and efficient use of capital. Because we have the capital amount that we need to utilize it optimally. And we should also, third one is the reasonable price. And in the reasonable price, we need to have a, we need to make sure that the final product of the product should be in a reasonable price. Already we have seen few things in that. Now, another important topics are this lead time and the buffer stock. What is this lead time? It is the time taken between the placing of order and receipt of drug at the department. The longer the lead time, the larger is the safety stock. What is buffer stock? We can understand. So this is lead time in another things like the time between the time of the order and between the time of delivery. If I put an order, in how much time the product will be delivered. Now, what is buffer stock here? Buffer stock means the extra stock. If the present the part or present material is not working well, we'll keep an extra thing. The first one is the carrying cost of holding an item in the inventory. These are the costs which are involved in that ordering cost and the shortage cost. These are important to calculate the inventory. There are some inventory management techniques. In that techniques, these words will be very, very useful. What is carrying cost? That means carrying cost means if you are holding an inventory, maybe like the rent for that, if you are paying the rent, or if you are keeping a security guard there, or if you are using some precautions there to keep some, if it is a chemical things to not to spoil, you put an extra things, all the things, in other words, to safeguard the stock or to hold that particular stock, the cost that you are investing on that, we call it as in carrying. What is ordering cost? Replenishing means refilling. To refill that desired level, how much the cost involved in that, we call it as an ordering cost. Third one is just shortage cost, temporary or permanent loss of sales when demand cannot be met. Sometimes uh, mm, um, there is a demand of 100 products, but you don't have the raw materials relating to the 100 products. Then we call it as an the shortage of the uh, that call we call it as a. So already we discussed about this inventory costs and this over. Next techniques. Let me open another PPT now. Inventory control techniques. Now, already we discussed what is inventory means. There are some techniques in the inventory. This is in the block 4. We have this all the things in this. In the supply chain, inventory management is one of the thing. We'll try to see this and we'll stop. Very, very important to understand. And if you just know the meaning of it, then you can understand it very clear. What are the techniques? ABC analysis. Say inventory means, again, I'm just want to overview it. Inventory means stock, the products that you are storing. And we have seen what are the types of inventory. It may be a raw material, or it may be a semi-finished product, or it may be a finished product. Okay, let us assume that you have some products. I'm taking some example as like medicines, right? Whenever you want to go for sales, you should have a stocking. Now, all these materials, first technique is called the ABC analysis. ABC analysis is dividing the total products into 3 categories. What are those 3 categories? In the name itself, it is telling A items, B items, and C items. What are these A items? A few costly items, we call it as an A items. The next one is neither costly nor cheap items. I mean, the average cost items. Third one is the cheaper items, cheaper in cost, right? This is also known as selective inventory control method. That means you will selectively control the inventory. That means if you want to control the high cost inventory, medium cost inventory, and the low cost inventory, that is why we are using the word called SIM, selective inventory control method. Now, how to do this? See, A items, it covers 10% of the total inventory. That means, let us say you have 100 products in your inventory. Let us say, among the 100 products, the 10% of the total inventories. Let us say 10% of 100 means 10. 10 products is your A items, but those 10 products should consume the 70% of your budget. Let us say your budget for 100 products is, let us say that 1 lakh rupees. In 1 lakh rupees, 70% means what? Hello? Sangeeta, are you there?
70,000.
70,000, right? 70,000. Who answered me this?
Hemant. Hemant.
Yes, ma'am. Listen. Thank you. 70%, right? 70% of the total budget is 70,000. Now, but if, even though it is 70,000, this 70,000 is constituting the 10% of the inventory. 10% in 100 products is 10 products. Maybe 10 products cost maybe like 70,000. That means very high costly items. And of course, those kind of items require the strict control, and it requires either no safety stock or low safety stock. I mean, you cannot have those kind of things. Safety stock means some extra stock you cannot keep, because those are all like it needs maximum follow up. It must be handled by the senior officers only. Now, B% is 20% of the total inventory. I am taking 100 as an example. 20 means 20% means 20 products only. Now it consumes only 20% of the budget. Already 70% of the budget is given to the 10% item, that costly items. Remaining 20% means 20,000 rupees for this 20% of the inventory. It requires moderate control, it requires low safety stock, it requires periodic follow-up, and it should be handled by the middle level. C items are 70% of the total inventory. That means 70 remaining 70 items, and it consumes only the 10% of the total expense. That means for 10,000, you will get all the 70 products, right? Cheap items. It required low control, and that means you no need to bother much about it. It requires high safety stocks, even though it is less price. We need to have a more stock. That we need to have means we can also have that. It needs close follow up. Not may not be regularly or maximum follow up, but it can be handled by any officer in that. Now, procedure how to do that. Now, in the procedure, in the ABC analysis, the sums may come. Just look at the screen, you will understand that. Now, see the percentage of annual dollar usage. See, you here, if you observe this, we are calculating the overall inventory cost. In that, A items are 10% items. See, that is what this beige color is there, right? B items are how much percentage we said here? 20% items. C items are remaining 10, 20, 70% items, like this. It is calculating 20%, 30%. Keep it in that. And see, only the sum calculating here is that you need to divide the items in this way. Now, second important analysis is VED analysis. Very easy to understand. VED means vital, essential, and desirable, right? And if I take the drugs as an example, there will be some vital drugs will be there, right? And definitely the absence of no stock cannot be tolerated. The items should be always, I can say that those are all the emergency medicines, right? And the hospital may not work, patient care may not be happening. Essential drugs means sometimes it will work, but it is also to keep those items. Third one is the desirable drugs, which if those items are there, it won't be affect much, but those are also important. Next, economic order quantity. This is very important. As I told you about the cost, ordering cost, carrying cost, and the annual period cost. If you know the annual cost and ordering cost, you can keep those the cost into this formula. 2A means annual cost into O means ordering cost divided by carrying cost. You put that economic order quantity. That means, see, economically how much order I need to put is called the economic order quantity. Okay, next, FSN analysis is divided: fast moving, slow moving, and non moving. Fast moving means which are used frequently. Slow moving means like which are used on and off. Non moving means rarely used items. That is also one of the category. SDE classification. S means scarce items. That means you want to find immediately those scarce items. You cannot, all the time it won't be available. Only in seasonable items or in some very rare cases, only those will be available. For that, in it can. Next, difficult items. Difficult items means in times of availability. Very difficult to get those items, and when it is very difficult, you should have a good stock. Easy to acquire, anytime in every season we can get it. Those items you don't need to keep. These are the three categories of the items. Next, SOS. Come to class. For what? Just 5 minutes. Next, SOS. SOS means stands for seasonable items. Seasonable items, and OS means off seasonal items. You know that generally in season items, mangoes will be cheap. In the off season, mangoes will be tough. And those things during the seasonable items, better buy them and store it. And in the off season, you can use it. Right? XYZ analysis is also looks like a ABC analysis. And in this ABC XYZ analysis, X items means those items of the 10% of the number of items stored, but containing 70% of the total inventory. See, this is little ulta to the ABC. 5 items mean 20% of the number of items stored, but accounting 20%. That means 70% of the account, 10%. See, this ABC and XYZ will look little similar. But some people will take this and some people will call this. See, based on the type of item, you need to use this inventory technique to store this. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Yeah, that's it for today. We'll stop here and we'll continue in the next week. Hemant
Okay, sir.
and
Okay, sir.
Sangeeta, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay.